Sorry guys, sometimes I forget I'm not actually as tall as my coworkers, it's just my personality. Next we have Cory Hobbs, who is working towards a social service worker diploma at Canadore College. Cory is involved with jack.org and is an advocate for mental health. Please welcome to the stage, Cory.
Big shout out to Lori. Oh, we're going. Oh, no, we're not. Big shout out to Lori Pertal. She helped me phenomenally to be here. Canadore, Jessica Rochon for motivating me to be here tonight. North Bay, Ignite, Canadore. Never thought I'd be here in my life. It's an honor. Click time. Good evening. As mentioned, my name is Cory Hobbs. Everything I'm going to share this evening is to be taken with a grain of salt. I'm not a doctor, philosopher, a psychotherapist. I'm simply a student, and this is my view. First, I'm going to share with you a part of my journey. It started at the age of 12 when I got drunk for the first time, quickly escalating to marijuana, speed, ecstasy, cocaine, and hallucinogens. By the time I was 22, I was injecting any form of opiate I could find. I was 24 when I changed my life. It wasn't a process of in and out of rehab. It wasn't an intervention. It wasn't numerous groups or therapies. It was hope. It was a phone call from a friend while staring at death in the face. It was someone driving me 8 hours to get me to the treatment I needed. That was my hope. A future, a change, a new path to walk down. I was scared as I embarked on this new journey, but I started to understand what it was. I believe that the simplest act of kindness can have the biggest effect on an individual's life. If we treat everyone we interact with as individuals, these small waves of hope and kindness begin to ripple with a mass effect. If we look past the lens that we're forced to look through our society, we start to see things from a new angle, such as those who use a shelter or just down on their luck. The person that you just called crazy is actually living with a mental illness and can't get access to prescriptions and treatment they require. The person that just asked you for some spare change is living with an addiction that is slowly killing them, and they don't have access to the services they need. The idea that those who struggle with these general issues is not our problem is false. I believe the idea should be a lot of those people who we look past with a blind eye and deem inadequate actually just need some hope and someone caring about them. Who are we to judge? Who are we to decide who's allowed to be loved and receive hope? Just because your government, co-workers, or friends often look past these people as they are a ghost does not mean you have to. When I walked on this stage this evening, you might have thought I was a well-dressed individual. You might have thought I was studying for my master's, or maybe I was a college kid, or a motivational speaker, or selling you my Get Slim Quick routine. You probably didn't think that this man in front of you lived off his friends at one point in time, that he was an addict, that he had a mental illness that drove his addiction, and that he was suppressing every piece of his trauma he could with poison. So I hope those weren't your thoughts that went through your head, and naturally they probably weren't. So my question for you is why? Why? Because I have a haircut and clean clothes, I don't receive this judgment. These groups of people desperately need our attention as Canadians, citizens of Ontario, and community members of North Bay. That we simply get to disregard them because of our own bias and judgment. Why? Why did I get the help I needed and they don't? Are we scared because we've been close to being there ourselves or know someone who is? Are we fearful because we might receive judgment for helping these people? These questions are true emotions that may or may not be felt. As a young, maybe even a bit naive 25-year-old male, what I do know, above all, is that love reinforced with hope can conquer things beyond our wildest imagination. Imagine the power you hold in your hands alone. My friend made that phone call not knowing that he saved my life that evening. My mom drove 14 hours to get me to a treatment facility, but she didn't know that. These might seem like extreme examples, but I hope they bring light to my message. Our greatest fear is not that you're inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we're powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? Your playing small does not serve this world. My challenge for you as you leave this room tonight and go back to the hustle and bustle of your everyday life is to remember this night and to challenge yourself. Challenge yourself to ask, why am I judging this person? To choose the outward-reaching hand of hope that could forever change someone's life. When we do not know how to love ourselves, sometimes we need someone to show us how to. Sometimes that starts with a phone call, sometimes it starts with a conversation. Be the change we need within our community and our nation. I challenge you to go against the norm and create the ripple of change. We have the power to create growth, and I believe it was up to us. And if our governments choose not to, it is up to the people to come together and grow the roots of empowerment. As we have before, we will again. We have witnessed rebirth throughout our history and civilization for the good and bad. I choose to be on the part of history that forms a revolution of hope, and I hope you will be there with me. Thank you.